Good morning from Mae Hong Son. This is my guest house behind me. That's the Lake View guest house. A funny story about that, which I'll get to in just a second. This is going to be something of a trip update and life update video as I go for a walk in Mae Hong Son to get a morning coffee. And I was looking at Google Maps to find coffee shops nearby, and I found one that seems to be in a pretty nice building called Feel Good Coffee or something like that. And it's just down the street here around the lake, which is connected to the funny story about my guest house, because one of the reasons I chose to stay there is that it was supposed to have a very nice view of the lake that is right here in the middle of Mae Hong Son, which of course begs the question of why it's called the Lake View House instead of the Lake View House. Seems like kind of a no-brainer. It's on the lake, gives you a nice view of the lake. Call it the Lake View. But for whatever reason, the owner, I talked to her yesterday. She opened the place 9 years ago. I don't have the full story. That's all I know about it so far. And she said that she opened it 9 years ago, and she called it the Lake View, which I guess kind of makes sense if you just look at the English words. People like the view from this guest house, so they stay there. It is the Lake View guest house, not the Lake View. But that's not the funny part of the story. The funny part of the story is that I booked this room, had this guest house, because of the views of the lake. And it turns out that just before I got here, they drained the lake. There is no lake. So I do have a beautiful view of where the lake should be, but the lake is gone. Somebody stole it. I'm staring at where it used to be right now. There it is there. It's just a giant mud pit at the moment. And I guess they've drained it, and I assume they're dredging it to deepen it, clean it up, get rid of the gook or the gunk that is collected over the years, and then they're going to fill it up again when they're done. But at the moment, there's no water at all. I don't know much about this town yet. I just arrived last night or yesterday afternoon, and I haven't really gone out exploring yet, except to locate my guest house and then go out in search of food. Seems like a very nice place. Whoa. Ah, there's a place I might want to go. It's always nice to get up high when you get to a new place and see a town or a region from up above. And I just spotted a temple up there on a hill. And that would probably give a very nice view of the town. So maybe I'll make that one of the places I go today. And I just noticed that here is the Mae Hong Son walking street. And you definitely have the feeling that this is a town that developed with tourism on its mind because of the famous Mae Hong Son loop that everybody does on scooter or motorcycle or donkey or bicycle or whatever it is they're riding. And you see a lot of cafes, restaurants, guest houses, things like that all over the place. So let's walk out to the lookout point here on the lake to see. I mean, there's a bit of water left, right? Just here in the middle. So you just have to imagine this is filled with pristine blue water. And where's my guest house? From the balcony of my guest house, you actually are very, very close to the edge of the water. Maybe it's just in there somewhere. Can't make out where it is. Look at that. That must be one of the major sites in Mae Hong Son as well. That is a large temple complex. Several different sections of it. Perhaps that will be part of my day today as I go out exploring. And right here, there's the Pia guest house, and there's a Good View guest house right here. And then there's a whole bunch more of them, motorcycle rental, scooter rental shops. As I said, very much a tourist town. I do like the looks of that temple, so I'll be heading up there. But this video won't contain any of those experiences. That will be in a separate video. As I said, this is more of a kind of a trip update video because yesterday I rode my scooter from the town of Mae Chaem. And Mae Chaem is near Doi Inthanon, the highest mountain in Thailand. That's where I was, that's where I spent Christmas. And yesterday I rode my scooter from Mae Chaem to here, Mae Hong Son. But I didn't shoot any video along the way. I shot a time lapse of the entire trip on my Hero 7. And I did one of those relive animated map things on my phone. But I didn't vlog the day, as they say. So I thought today instead I would just tell the story of that day rather than tell the story in video. And I would do that at a coffee shop. And I think this Feel Good Cafe has some seating outside, so it might be a good place to go just to sit outside and not bother anyone as I'm chatting away. Lately, I find I get confused. When I first arrive in a new town in Thailand, I get all disoriented. I eventually figure it out, but right now, I'm in my disoriented phase, and I'm constantly going in the wrong direction, taking the wrong street. So it's good that I'm walking there. It's a lot easier to change direction when you're walking than on a scooter. Funny thing is that I don't think I'll be staying at the Lakeview guest house for my entire time here because it is getting close to New Year's Eve and the whole town is booked. All the hotels are booked solid. So I managed to get 1 or 2 nights at the Lakeview. It's again one of the reasons I chose to stay there. It was one of the few places that had any rooms available at all. But I could only stay up until December 31st, which is New Year's Eve. And they're booked, fully booked, so I have to leave. And I spent some time this morning looking for other hotels that are listed online that have rooms available, and there's almost nothing in town. Everything is booked solid. So yeah, I'm still looking around. I'm sure there are lots of hotels here that aren't listed on Agoda or Booking.com, so I might end up at one of those places. Hello. Oh. I thought this dog was interested in me, but she saw this woman carrying food in a bag. So they must know her and maybe they get fed. I just started to think that maybe Feel Good was a victim of the pandemic because I just see a lot of closed doors here. Yeah, looks like they're shut down. Well, that's typical, isn't it? Wonder if they went out of business because of that. I'm going to do a Google Translate on this sign. Yeah, no coffee at the Feel Good. It's misnamed today. It's not making me feel good. The sign doesn't say anything about being closed. It just says the boss is busy. So I guess when the owner has something to do, they just close the entire coffee shop. They can't run without the boss, apparently. So I have to find another coffee shop. And the other sign there is kind of interesting. I wasn't aware of this, but I guess the road, maybe from Chiang Mai to here, or from Pai to here, I'm not sure, has 1,864 curves in the road. And if you ride your motorcycle or whatever your vehicle is through all those curves, it's some kind of an achievement, and you can get a certificate. So I didn't know this, but here at the cafe, you can pay for an official certificate, I guess with your name on it, saying that you have conquered, you are a conqueror of the 1,864 curves. But I guess it's a pretty big deal because the sign here says, well, if you came here looking for the certificate, we're closed, but they give directions on where else you can go to get this certificate. I guess that doesn't work for people like me because I'm going in the other direction. I'm going clockwise. I guess this certificate would be for people going counterclockwise. But maybe when I arrive in Pai or Chiang Mai, I can get my own I conquered the curves certificate. Well, I'm going to look for another coffee shop. Not surprisingly, since this is Thailand, there's no shortage of coffee shops in town. So I picked out another one. Ironically, it's kind of right beside my guest house. So I'm going right back to where I started from. That's all right. I'm slowly zeroing in on my coffee shop. I think it's up here on the right. I chose this one because it looks like it's more outdoors as well, kind of an open yard situation. And it's in an old building, I think, so it might come with some atmosphere on top of the coffee, which is always nice. On my way here, I was passing quite a popular hotel right beside the Lake View, another sort of Lake View style hotel. And there was a tour guide, a Thai tour guide operator standing there. And I guess he was waiting for a couple of foreigners to emerge from their rooms because he'd arranged to take them out for a 2-day trek or something. But he showed up to get them, but they were still sleeping or something like that. There was some confusion. No, I don't think that's it. But he started chatting with me, of course, because I'm obviously a tourist and he's a tour guide operator. So he was letting me know about all the places he could take me to. I found it. It's not that clear in the video because it's backlit by the sun right now, but here it is here. Coffee Morning. Yeah, looks like a nice place. Sort of what it looked like in the pictures online. Oh yeah, very quaint inside. A lot of bookshelves. A lot of artwork. Rich coffee smell. I wonder if there's other seating areas. What's going on next door? Oh, it's another place. Mae Ice Cream Bakery, Coffee and Tea. And then the Coffee Morning right beside it. Yeah, I like this. They have a nice painting of the building itself, the coffee shop. And I think if the seating is still free, maybe I'll sit out here by the road. You'll get some traffic noise, but that'll be okay. This works out well because they have some nice seating on the inside as well, but they have music playing in there, so I couldn't run the GoPro. Look at this. They have a nice, like a photo album for their menu. Just sort of have all their items displayed like their postcards or photographs, which is kind of cool. I love touches like that. I have no real reason to look at the menu, to be honest. I know what I'm going to order, but why not take a look? Welcome to Coffee Morning. Sit long, talk much, laugh often. Open daily, 7:30 a.m. till 6 p.m. Here's that number again, 1,864 curves. That number is a big deal here. All coffee beans are Arabica, 100%, from the north of Thailand. Okay. It says, don't miss it. Signature cup hot coffee. Un La Mae. So Un La Mae is a signature Thai-style hot coffee, which mixes between coffee and sweet milk. It gives you feel a different taste and original Thai coffee. Why don't you try and touch the feeling, the taste of different? So I definitely have to go with that, of course. And it appears that their coffee is made with a special bean called the Peaberry coffee beans, a unique coffee bean that has a much richer flavor. The Peaberry beans is rare, only found in 5% of the crop that are manually removed from the crop. The flavor of the Peaberry tends to be a finer quality than the rest of the crop and is desired by coffee connoisseurs around the world. Huh. I'd never heard of anything like this. Peaberry coffee beans that grow alone in a single cherry were once considered a defect, a deformed bean. Now these small round beans are highly prized and are sometimes even called the caviar of coffee. So I guess a coffee bean is naturally split into two within a pod, with a flat side and a rounded bean shape on the other. The Peaberry coffee bean has only one entire rounded bean in the pod and is easily distinguished from the rest of the beans. Okay, so I definitely have to try that out. I'm assuming the Un La Mae is made with the Peaberry. But yeah, now that I think about it, that makes sense that the normal coffee bean, there's two in each. They call them a cherry. Maybe that's the official term, the fruit of the coffee plant. Maybe they call it a cherry. And there's two coffee beans in each one. But I guess there was some kind of what they used to think of as a defect. There was sometimes a cherry bean with only a cherry with only one coffee bean inside it. And I guess that is the Peaberry. And you can easily recognize it. And then as they harvest a regular coffee crop, they see the Peaberry ones and manually pull them out and set them aside, and they're now considered a coffee delicacy. So I placed my order, and it turns out you can get the special blend Un La Mae with either regular coffee beans or Peaberry. And I asked them for the Un La Mae made from Peaberry coffee beans. So we'll see how that turns out. Peaberry is a 65 baht, regular is 55. And of course they make espresso, Americano, cappuccino, latte, mocha. They have a lot of milk teas and hot chocolate drinks. Cold coffees, of course. Everything iced coffee as well is available. And a whole bunch of shakes and floats and smoothies. You could come here every day for a long time and order something new. White chocolate lover. Matcha, matcha green tea. Iced rose tea, veggie juice, vampire veggie juice, detox, pretty woman, tomato lover, spicy, the whole bunch of specialty detox drinks there. Italian sodas, of course, smoothies. Wow, there's no end to them. And then cakes. They have all kinds of cheesecakes, orange cake, crepe, toasted bagel and cream cheese, croissant and butter. So you can have kind of a light continental breakfast here as well. And then a whole bunch of special desserts. Affogato, an Italian iced coffee dessert. Brownies, And yeah, like I said, croissants and bagels and things like that. So they pretty much have the whole coffee shop range covered here. My Peaberry coffee has arrived. Looks very interesting. Yeah, very different from what I was expecting. They even serve it in a different kind of coffee cup. And it has various layers with a nice design on top from the outside. Yeah, it feels hot. Feels plenty hot enough. Right, so this is all foam at the top. And then I guess that is kind of sweet milk at the bottom. Oh, funny thing. Some of what I thought was layers is actually just reflections from the light. So really there's only 2 layers. The top coffee layer and then the milk at the bottom and the foam at the top. So let's get this all mixed in. Let's give this a try.
Bluetooth mode.
I like that. Words are going to fail me. I can't tell you. There's something different about it. But it could be largely because of the sweetened milk, because I don't normally have coffee with any sweetener in it. I just have the flat coffee.
Play by USB drive.
Uh-oh.